The Midnight Carnival of Curiosities comprises of 15 chapters. Without any delay, subscribe our channel and press the bell icon, so that you can enjoy yourself and your kids with more entertaining, magical, and fictional stories. You have done it, thank you. Let's start the story. Chapter number 1, The Invitation. Lily and Rose, out in the woods, found an invitation, just like they should, to the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities. Come one, come all, and see the peculiarities. They squealed with delight, and ran back home, to pack a bag in their favorite comb. They knew they had to dress up in style, for the Midnight Carnival. They'd go the extra mile. On the night of the carnival, they felt so grand, dressed in their costumes, hand in hand. They followed the path deep in the woods, till they saw the bright lights, and they knew they were good. At the entrance gate, they met the ringmaster. He welcomed them with a wide smile, like a true master. Come in, see the wonders we hold. The Midnight Carnival of Curiosities never gets old. They walked around, with wide open eyes, saw the clowns, the fortune tellers, and all the prize. Lily and Rose had the time of their life. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, they felt no strife. As the night drew to a close, they felt a little sad, but they knew they'd come back. They were really glad. They waved goodbye to the ringmaster, with a smile so bright, for they knew the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities would always shine so light. Chapter number 2, The Entrance. Lily and Rose, filled with wonder, arrived at the carnival. Like a spell they were under. They saw the entrance, so grand and tall. The Midnight Carnival of Curiosities welcomed them all. They walked up to the gate, with eyes so wide. The ringmaster greeted them, with arms open wide. Welcome, welcome, to our magical place. Step inside, and see the wonders we embrace. They entered the carnival, with a skip and a hop, saw the bright lights, and heard the music non-stop. They saw the clowns, with their silly tricks, and the Ferris wheel, going up so quick. The smells of popcorn and candy filled the air. They saw the bearded lady, and couldn't help but stare. They heard the animals, roaring with might, and the fire eater, with flames shining bright. The Midnight Carnival of Curiosities had so much to see: the fortune teller, the escape room, and the acrobat spree. Lily and Rose were lost in awe. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, they found no flaw. As the night drew to a close, they felt so happy. They knew they'd come back, for more than a copy. They waved goodbye to the ringmaster, with a heart full of glee, for the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities was the place to be. Chapter number 3, The Clown. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, there was a clown, with juggling abilities. He wore a bright red nose, and colorful clothes, and when he laughed, his belly glowed. He had balls and pins, and ribbons too, and when he threw them, they flew and flew. He balanced on a tightrope, up so high, and when he fell, he just bounced like a ball in the sky. The children clapped, and the parents cheered, as the clown continued, without any fear. He made silly faces, and told funny jokes, and when he slipped, he just turned it into a poke. The clown made balloon animals, of every kind, a giraffe, a dog, even a porcupine. He gave them away, with a smile so wide. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, he was the pride. Lily and Rose joined in the fun. They laughed and played, till the day was done. The clown made them hats, and a silly mustache, and when they left, they had a big stash. As they walked away, they turned around, saw the clown, with a final bow, on the ground. They waved goodbye, and said, "Thank you so much," for the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities was the perfect touch. Chapter number 4, the fortune teller. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, there was a tent with a sign of anomalies. A fortune teller, with a crystal ball, invited all, big and small. She had cards, and gems, and a special gift, to see the future, and give a little lift. She looked at Lily and Rose, with her piercing stare, and said, "Come closer, I'll tell you what I see in there." She read their palms, and gazed into the crystal ball, said, "I see adventure, and a journey for all. You'll meet new friends, and face some fears, but in the end, you'll wipe away your tears." She told them secrets, of things yet to come, and gave them guidance, to overcome. She showed them paths, they could take or leave. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, they were relieved. They thanked the fortune teller, with a little bow, and left the tent, feeling lighter somehow. They walked around, with a new perspective. The fortune teller's words were so effective. As they left the carnival, they looked back, at the fortune teller, in her little shack. They waved goodbye, with a grateful heart, for the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities was just the start. Chapter number 5, The Haunted House. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, there was a house, with a mystery. It stood alone, with a creaky door, inviting all, to explore. The children gathered, with a curious mind. As they approached, the house was unkind. It made them shiver, and gave them a scare, but they still wanted, to see what was in there. They opened the door, with a creak and a moan, and entered the house, all alone. The rooms were dark, and filled with dust, but they walked on, without any fuss. They heard some noises, and saw some sights, a ghostly figure, and some flickering lights. They felt some chill, and heard some growls, but they kept moving, with brave souls. They reached the attic, with a shiver and a shake, and saw a coffin, ready to break. They opened it up, with a little fear, and saw a vampire, who was quite dear. He said, "Welcome, to the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, where mysteries and adventures are our specialties." He gave them some candy, and showed them the way, out of the haunted house, and into the day. They left the carnival, with a little fright, but they also felt a little delight, for the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities was a place for all possibilities. Chapter number 6, The Strongman. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, there was a tent with mighty abilities. The strongman, with muscles big and strong, invited all to watch him perform. He lifted weights with great ease, and juggled balls like they were peas. He bent some bars, and broke some chains. The strongman's strength was truly insane. The children watched, with wide eyes, as the strongman lifted to the skies. He showed them what he could do, and inspired them to be strong too. They cheered and clapped, as he flexed his might, and felt a sense of pure delight. The strongman smiled, and took his bow, for he had won the crowd's heart somehow. He said, "At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, strength comes in different varieties. It's not just muscles, but also your heart, that makes you strong, from the start." The children left, feeling inspired, to be strong, and never get tired, for the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities was a place for all possibilities. Chapter number 7, The Bearded Lady. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, there was a tent with oddities. The bearded lady, with hair long and thick, invited all to take a quick peek. She twirled and swirled, with grace and poise. Her beard flowed like a river of toys. The children watched, with wide eyes, as she danced and put on a surprise. She told them tales of her great feats, and how her beard was quite a treat. It kept her warm on cold winter nights, and helped her hide from curious sights. The children laughed and smiled with glee as the bearded lady set them free, for she showed them that it's okay to be different in every way. She said, "At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, we celebrate our oddities, for being different is a gift that makes us stand out and never drift." The children left with a new perspective on being different and being respective, for the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities was a place for all possibilities. Chapter number 8, The Escape Room. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, there was a tent with mysteries. The escape room, with puzzles and clues, invited all to take on the challenge. 2. The children entered, with excitement and glee, to see what the escape room had up its sleeve. They searched for clues, and solved some riddles, trying to escape before the time dwindles. They ran around, from room to room, unlocking doors with a loud boom. The puzzles got harder, but they persevered. Their teamwork and determination never disappeared. They finally solved the final puzzle, and the door unlocked with a soft rustle. The children escaped with a huge smile, feeling proud of their accomplishment worthwhile. The escape room said, "At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, we challenge your mind with diversities, for teamwork and determination will always win, and your success will be a great grin." The children left, feeling accomplished and bright, for they had solved the escape room all right, for the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities was a place for all possibilities. Chapter number 9, The Fire Eater. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, there was a performer with oddities. The Fire Eater, with flames in his mouth, invited all to see his fiery prowess. He ate fire with skill and grace. The flames danced on his face. The children watched with awe and wonder as he swallowed fire without a blunder. He told them tales of his great feats and how he learned to eat fire like a treat. He practiced hard, day and night, to master his craft with all his might. The children cheered and clapped along as the Fire Eater continued his song, for he showed them that with practice and skill, you can master anything with a thrill. He said, "At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, we celebrate our oddities, for every skill is unique and bright, and we can all shine in our own light." The children left with a new perspective on practice and skill and being respective, for the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities was a place for all possibilities. Chapter number 10, The Magician. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, there was a magician with great abilities. The magician, with a cape and hat, invited all to see his magic act. He pulled rabbits out of his hat and made flowers appear from nowhere at that. The children watched with amazement and cheer as he performed magic without any fear. He taught them tricks with cards and coins, and how to make things disappear like a poof of smoke. He showed them that magic is not just for show, but it can be learned with practice and know-how. The children learned and practiced along as the magician continued his magic song, for he showed them that with practice and skill, you can do magic and make everyone thrilled. He said, "At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, we celebrate our unique abilities, for every magic trick is a mystery and delight, and we can all learn to make magic bright." The children left with a new perspective on practice and skill and being respective, for the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities was a place for all possibilities. Chapter number 11, The Animal Tamer. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, there was an animal tamer with great abilities. the animal tamer, with a whip and chair, invited all to see his animal act with care. He tamed lions, tigers, and bears, and made them jump through fiery hoops with no fear. The children watched, with wonder and awe, as he performed with animals, like it was no flaw. He taught them how to approach with care, and how to understand the animals with flair. He showed them that animals are not to fear, but they can be tamed with love and care. The children left with a new perspective on love and care, and being respective. For the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities was a place for all possibilities. Chapter number 12, The Acrobats. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, there were acrobats with great agility. The acrobats, with grace and strength, invited all to watch their performance at length. They climbed, and flipped, and balanced with ease. In the air, they flew like they had wings. The children watched, with excitement and glee, as they performed acrobatics, with such beauty. They taught them how to balance and leap, and how to trust their bodies with keep. They showed them that with practice and patience, you can do acrobatics with such brilliance. The children learned and practiced along as the acrobats continued their acrobatic song, for they showed them that with strength and skill, you can do acrobatics with such thrill. They said, at the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, we celebrate our unique abilities, for every flip and jump and balance is a testament to our own resilience. The children left with a new perspective on strength and grace, and being effective, for the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities was a place for all possibilities. Chapter number 13, The Sword Swallower. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, there was a sword swallower with great eccentricities. The sword swallower, with a sharp sword in hand, invited all to see his dangerous act so grand. He swallowed swords, one by one, and showed the children it could be done. The children watched, with wide eyes, as he swallowed swords, with no surprise. He taught them about courage and trust, and how to take risks without any fuss. He showed them that with practice and skill, you can accomplish even the hardest thrill. The children learned and practiced along as the sword swallower continued his sword-swallowing song, for he showed them that with bravery and will, you can achieve anything with a strong iron fill. He said, at the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, we celebrate our unique abilities, for every act and every sword swallowed is a testament to our own courage that's followed. The children left with a new perspective on taking risks and being effective, for the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities was a place for all possibilities. Chapter number 14, The Giant Bubble. At the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, there was a bubble maker with great abilities. The bubble maker, with a wand in hand, invited all to see his bubbles so grand. He blew bubbles, big and small, and showed the children they could have a ball. The children watched with wonder and awe as he blew bubbles without any flaw. He taught them about patience and care, and how to blow bubbles in the air. He showed them that with practice and fun, you can make bubbles under the sun. The children learned and practiced along as the bubble maker continued his bubble making song, for he showed them that with joy and skill, you can make bubbles that soar and thrill. He said, at the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities, we celebrate our unique abilities, for every bubble and every smile is a testament to our own style. The children left with a new perspective on being creative and being effective, for the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities was a place for all possibilities. Chapter number 15, The Goodbye. As the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities came to an end, the children realized it was time to say goodbye, my friend. They hugged each other, with tears in their eyes, for the memories made were truly wise. The carnival was over, but the memories would remain, for they had experienced a world of wonder and gain. They had met clowns, acrobats, and more, and left with a heart full of joy, and so much more. As they walked away, they knew the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities would come back anew, and they promised to meet again at this magical place, for the carnival was a symbol of their friendship and grace. They clapped their hands and sang a song, for the memories made were truly strong. They waved goodbye with love and cheer, for they knew that the carnival was always near. The children left with a new perspective on the power of friendship and being effective, for the Midnight Carnival of Curiosities was not just a place, but a community of possibilities.